Hey, Gator Nation, welcome back to the Respect Our Decision podcast. It's January the 11th, and this is your boy Hirsch, and as always, with me is Mike.
What's going on?
And back with us this week, the hype man, Wes.
What's good? What's good?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, got a lot to talk about tonight. As you know, things are buzzing out there on the Gator streets. But before we get started, guys, make sure you go ahead, check us out wherever you get your podcast from if you aren't already. If you haven't, guys, please go check out the YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you get a notification anytime we upload new content. And as always, guys, if you'd like to support us as creators, check out our Patreon, Respect Our Decision. We appreciate each and every one of y'all that have chosen to become patrons. We appreciate your support. And as always, guys, everything we make from Patreon goes right back into our show to make it better. And before we get started, guys, just want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, All Stars Roof of Georgia. All Star Roofing is your number one go-to guys up in Atlanta. If you're looking for a roof repair, gutter repair, roof installment, gutter installment, storm damage repair, they will take care of you on the spot, man. Just hit them up, allstarsroofs.com. Use code RESPECT100 and save $500 off a new roof. Good time to do it, man. First of the year. Taxes going to be rolling in soon. Get it. All right, guys. We're going to jump right into it, man. We jump into this recruiting thing first thing. But there's a huge elephant in the room right now. We're going to talk about it right off the rip, man. We're just going to pull the Band-Aid right off. There's a lot of rumors out there in the Twitterverse and, the Own3 universe running with stories about Jaden Rashada and Jaden Rashada's status. As you know, he is not on campus yet. And now it is looking more and more likely like he will not be part of this class after all. There's a lot of factors involved here. We don't have all those answers right now. We just don't. It's a lot of hush-hush things going on, a lot of legal things going on that, people can't talk about due to legal, matters. It's a sticky situation, guys. I mean, what are y'all's first takes on this, Mike?
I'm dull at this point. I'm kind of dead inside. But no, so all jokes aside, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. Top 50, top quarterback in your class, especially when you didn't get one last cycle. Supposed to be leader of your class. Once again, we don't know everything yet. No, pretty much not a lot of, very few people do. I've heard some information, but once again, I'm not going to put that out there in the universe yet until everything dust is settled. The bottom line is it will be a huge blow to the class for obvious reasons, talent alone. And later, we can't pivot from this, and that's something we'll talk about later on. But at the end of the day, anytime you lose not only a talent like that, but at a position in need, because we were looking maybe hypothetically he can even be our starter some time down the road when him enrolling early. So it's a huge blow.
Wes, how you feel about this?
I think maybe a couple of weeks ago, me and Mike were having this conversation on air, and we talked about the most important position in football, and I made the statement it's the most important position in all of sports. Quarterback, you gotta have that guy, unless and we're not at that particular point where we have a bunch of 5 stars where you could put a walk in like Georgia did with Stetson Bennett, where you got all the athletes around that type of guy. So if you don't have all these 4 and 5 stars on the field, offensively and defensively, you're gonna need a guy to make plays. And we had a top quarterback in the class, and if this falls through and doesn't work out in our favor, then it's a big blow to the program in its entirety. It's a lot of stuff, like we said, that we can't speak on as right now. But it's looking like The kid may not be in the class, and then that's another blow to this program. And again, we were talking off air before we got on. It seems like what can go wrong seems to go wrong when it comes to Florida right now, and that's a big issue. They got to get a lot of stuff fixed behind closed doors, and hopefully they can get these things fixed fast. Because we're not gonna be a good program if we can't get some of these things behind closed doors, as far as the program is considered, as far as the organization fixed.
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it all. There's not a whole lot more I need to add to this except perception, man. Perception goes a long way. It goes a long way in recruiting. And if the perception is, you don't have your shit together. Sorry. I mean, that's what it is. If you don't have your shit together, maybe that's not the place for me to go. It becomes a lot more harder to sell your school when you have this cloud of uncertainty hanging around. And this is just, one more cloud added to the storm. So, Mike, you got a little more to add? You wanted to add on this?
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head on one of the points I could say. It just goes to, once again, national perception. Like we are the talk of the national football world right now because no other
for all the wrong reasons.
And on top of that, this is NIL, and if there's contraction. I don't want to talk too much about it, but bottom line, if there is a NIL issue, it's a kid to think, well, is going to be an issue on my deal?
Yep.
This will have a domino effect, and it's inevitable.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be another issue. And it's not like we're rolled in the dough on the NIL funds. So that's fun. At the end of the day, though,
what can go wrong?
It's going to be, obviously, everyone knows my feelings on Scott Strickland. However, if you're the head coach of a football program, okay, and I love what Billy's doing, I need to know everything what's going on with my program. That involves NIL, okay? He has an NIL person. If you need to hire, he hired an army. So what's that army doing right now? Or what did it do to make sure that this did or did not happen? So I don't want to hear the blame game. It's going to be at most two people I'm blaming. If at most it's Strickland and Billy. But end of the day, if I'm a head coach, a buck stops with me. He hired all these people at the talent acquisition business. Well, we acquired Rashada, and he's about to leave. So I'm sorry, Billy. This lies squarely on you. And I like him, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you can't. I mean,
accountability.
Like, you can blame whoever you want to blame out there. At the end of the day, like you said, people can blame the collective. That's fine. I understand the frustration. It is what it is. I mean, they're the head of our NIL, out there in the public eye. So, of course, they're going to catch strays. I mean, they're going to catch heat. It is what it is. But, like Mike said, at the end of the day, there is one man and one man only responsible for the goings-on with this program in the public eye, and that's Billy Napier. So if Billy was caught blindsided by this, why? Now, does it make me even more question Scott Strickland and his goings-on? Absolutely. I just don't believe in the man as being an organizer of his program, and I just don't like the goings on. But we've talked about that week in, week out. You can agree, you can disagree with us, but it is what it is. Now, let's talk about something that happened shortly after some of this news came out. A new name hit the transfer portal. Walker Howard. That name sounds familiar. It's because we were recruiting him last cycle. Walker Howard was at LSU. Last year, he was the number 40 overall recruit in the class. Fit number 5 quarterback overall. So, Mike, you think this is a coincidence?
Nope, not at all. I mean, coincidence occur, not this one. But he, there's a lot of smoke that he was actually a silent on that in Billy's opening cycle last year, going into that final weekend, and LSU flipped him because his parents are wanting to say to let their legacy over there. Obviously, things didn't work out. He only played a couple games, so he's still a redshirt quarterback, and there's 2 + 2 is 9 right now, especially given the time frame of all these quarterbacks coming out. Some waited till after the bowl game. Well, it is January 11th. Yeah, the timing, and Rashada just popped out. So they probably knew about this Rashada. Like, I found my first information I found out was a little bit, this past weekend early on. So in regards to it, it's bottom line, it's I think we're in play for Walker Howard, and just to be fully transparent, I'd rather have Walker Howard over Rashada. I think he's I think Billy likes him more personally. I think he's more of a type A personality and a true better leader in terms of for the team. Not to mention, I've tried to say this on Rashada, no problems with the kid. However, one of my buddies had a conversation on the way home. When's the last time you saw this type of little mini dramas on each, Miami, us, and the kid actually work out? That's something to think about, guys. So, but going back to Walker Howard, and it kind of has a nice separation with DJ Lagway, and once again, Walker Howard and Wes. I got to give Wes some credit on there, but I was thinking that as well. About we can both co-sign on that. So as opposed to a quarterback potentially transferring with Rashada and DJ Lagway, I love having Walker Howard here, redshirt freshman. Billy loves him from Louisiana. Make it happen.
Wes, how would you feel if Walker Howard was the next quarterback to come to University of Florida?
Yeah, just to take the last part of what Mike was just saying, I would love it. It will be not only a huge deal, especially if we lose Rashada, then it's all hell is here, everything is burning, to okay, we got Walker Howard. Oh, okay, now let me chill a little bit. That's a good flip, a good bounce back in the perception of everything. And then to Mike, what Mike was saying, we were talking about off air. I like staggering in today's football with portal and free agency and how all that stuff works. It's kind of good to stagger your quarterbacks with every other position of the field. Usually there's 2 people that can play, D tackles, 2 D ends, kind of 2 if you got a rush in, strong defense end, linebackers 2, DBs 2, safeties 2, receivers 2 to 3, running backs. Now in today's college football and NFL football, you're going to see, in high school, matter of fact, you see 2 backs. So with quarterback, there's only 1 guy. So to me, it's good to kind of stagger that position. You take a guy that maybe needs development in between those guys. If in today's college football, if that were me, if I were the coach and CEO, I mean, if you can stack talent like Kirby does at Georgia with the quarterbacks he keeps getting year after year, then I guess you do it. But in a perfect world, in today's football, I would love to stagger guys and to have Walker Howard, who's already been on campus, already seen college football, played at LSU for 1 year, got some experience, and to come in. Not only I can see him as a guy, we always say that Rashada will have to sit this first year regardless, he need to put on weight, etc. Walker Howard may be able to compete for a starting job with Mertz. And I would rather see Mertz get pushed and actually have to win that job than him just be given that job. So I would love to see Howard we can get him, especially if we lose Rashada. Regardless, I would take him regardless. I don't care if regardless.
I have to agree that would be one hell of a pivot on the fly. So let's knock on wood and hope at least maybe we come out with a quarterback after all this is said and done.
Yeah, and real quick, like Wes, I don't know what's going on. It's less than 15 minutes in, and Wes and I have agreed twice. I really need to take an Advil. So with that being said, what's great about if you get Walker Howard is may the best man win. Okay. Iron sharpens iron. Yeah, Rashada. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to think he's going to truly push Mertz for that job just based on a processing level. That was the issue over at the All-American game. That's normal. However, once again, Walker Howard has seen SEC speed. LSU has more than enough LSU speed or enough SEC speed. So it's gonna, worst case, you got a better Mertz.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would be truly upset if we pulled Walker Howard. Like you said, that would be a true quarterback competition, I believe, next year, as opposed to what we said the things would be going on with Rashada next year. A scheduled series or a fourth quarter. Blowout time.
Yeah.
With that being said, guys. Oh
no, I was about to say no. We actually have the All-American game. We had had some great news, you guys, and as I'm sure you guys saw, we Caden Jones. We spoke about him, so I'll reiterate some of it. 493rd national player in the 36th offensive tackle in the composite. We got to commit. Huge position to need, obviously. Make the worst, on the downside, he's most likely not ready day one. However, a phenomenal athlete given his size, 6'8", 325. Had about 20 more pounds than I thought. Who knows? He may be the diamond in the rough in terms of being ready day one. He once again announced at the All-American game. He chose us over Texas A&M. They definitely did want him. And I'll segue this off to Wes, but his 2024 boy Lagway was there. You want to talk on that a little bit more, Wes?
Yeah, Mike. Do you know if and I started pushing on the spot. You know if he's an early enrollee, Jones? You don't know?
I do not believe so.
He's not, and the reason why is his school does not allow it.
Okay,
was my understanding.
That would have been
that would have been good though, but
yeah. Because I think he needs to, even though he has the size and build, there's nothing better than getting inside of a college football strength and conditioning program early. So, like you said, Mike, I don't see him contributing this year. To me, he was always a development guy. And I know when we were recruiting Sampson, I always said that I still wanted Caden Jones, regardless of the fact, just because of the body and the build that he was. So, a good get, phenomenal get, and hopefully once he gets inside the program, hopefully probably around May that he can start on that program. But yeah, don't look for him to contribute early, in my opinion. Saw some good and some bad things. He was kind of slow off the ball, but when you playing against those type of athletes in the All-American game that you haven't really kind of faced year in year, because that's an all-star game. So, but he has some work to be done, but it's a great get for the offensive line. Somebody that we desperately needed, especially when we kind of missed on some guys. So love Caden Jones, love the fact that we got somebody out of the state of Louisiana as well.
And Hirsch, were you any thoughts on the commit there?
Yeah, and before we move on, I just want to make sure everyone knows Mike's going to kind of lead the way here. I'm having some connection issues, so we want to make sure I don't talk as much. Some of y'all probably be happy with that. Just go with it, guys. We adjust on the fly. That's what we do here. Anyway, love it. We've talked about Caden Jones quite a bit on the show. Love the pickup. Big kid, long arms. I'm sure the staff will have him coached up. Just the kind of prospect. If you're gonna take a prospect on the offensive line, that's a project. I like the take.
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. No, yeah. So in addition to that, Trayon Webb was at the game, but he had 5 carries, 39 yards, and a touchdown. So he definitely had a phenomenal game. But he also, in addition to that, had a great week of practice. So we should, he should rise in the rankings. But then again, who knows?
Knocking on wood all episode here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with anything. What do you guys? I know Hirsch, that's your boy. So what do you think his week of practice in addition to the game?
Trayon Webb has been drastically underrated all season. We've said it multiple times. 1,000 yards rushing, 20 TDs plus, splitting carries at his school all season, dropped in the rankings. Explain to me why. Someone, anybody. Nope.
I can tell you why.
Go ahead, Beth. You've got the answer.
Will Fong, because Will Fong doesn't like him because he thought he was going somewhere else, and when he told Will Fong he wasn't, and now that's where the hate comes from. So when you got guys personally,
Wes has got his tinfoil hat on.
Yeah, when you got guys that can't be professional like that, then that's on their recruiting service, and screw them for that, for messing with that kid. But I love Treon. He showed me some bursts as well. Good hands. He was catching the ball as a receiver. That's good to see. So I love what I saw from him. He has a burst that I didn't think he had. But I thought he was more of the Montreal type, strong back, big back. But he may be a combination of Webb and Etienne, which is good. So I love that.
Love it, man. Love it. Hey, also another Gator there, Cameron James. I think he has a huge ceiling. He also had a solid week of practice as well. And in addition to that, he's had some big plays in the game. I'm just curious, guys. We all have the same consensus on his, eval. But when do you kind of see him contributing to the Gators?
How fast can you coach him up? He's got a big-bodied kid. I mean, get into school, put on some weight, see how he performs in practice. I mean, it's up to him.
Wes?
Yeah, very, very, very talented kid. Big kid, kind of one of the one. We have a couple guys. We kind of highlight the Kelby Collins and those type of guys. He's one of the guys that I see as underrated. I know you guys did the podcast last week, and Will Norman kind of stood out last week in his All-Star game. Cameron James,
my ass up.
Yeah,
I think he did it for me. I think he pointed at me.
Yeah, Cameron James. We kind of talked about it, but he's one of the underrated guys that doesn't get enough talked about. I think we talked about him when we first signed, but it was so long ago, and he wasn't in conversation. Yeah, and then he's not into the social media doing all this and that. Like you said, he's kind of a quiet guy, but I love that kid. We got a special guy in that kid. So, like her said, it's about what he wants, and I love the quiet kids sometimes when they're with the workmen, put on my hard hat type guys, and he reminds me of that type.
Yeah, I personally see him as contributing as a redshirt sophomore. Hopefully, he can get in a couple games as a just experience a couple blowouts if that even occurs next year. Maybe gets in addition, possibly in a rotation a little bit more his freshman year, but truly being a counter-on contributor his redshirt sophomore year. He's a little new to the game still, and was a basketball player as well. But he has a frame, so I just think he's truly not only expand on his frame, but it's all about technique. And I don't think he has that quick enough of a burst to rely on his natural skill set. That's just me, thinking aloud.
Just depends on how fast we need him too. You know how that goes.
Well, at the same time, luckily he's at the strong side defensive end where we have copious amounts of depth as well. So, so with that being said, we have it's transfer. It is tis the season. It's portal season, folks, and we got a commit. And I absolutely
how many?
Getting there. We got two commits. But my this. Not quite my nose tackle, but we're talking 1A, 1B here. Huge position in need. Potential savior to the offensive line. Micah Mazuka. I think it did. I thought I looked it up there. Left guard.
That was Mike, guys.
Left guard out of Baylor. 6'5", 331. Played in all but one game in the 2022 season. He's a redshirt sophomore, so he's got 2 years of eligibility remaining. I think that's huge for the offensive line. So he's not just like a one and done. And I don't think he's got to be like an Osiris. Osiris looking at high second round going in the last season. So even if he didn't come to Florida, so I don't see him leaving after next year. Now at Baylor, just to show you his blocking prowess, he had a run blocking grade of 78.5 from PFF, which was 9th among Power 5 guards. He also had 14 big-time blocks, which is tied for second among all guards. Oh, and that's just got that information from the good old guys at 247. So appreciate that, folks. So, gentlemen, impact on his impact on the offensive line. Go.
Yeah, I saw something I think from PFF as well that as far as pass block rate, that he was second behind our own Osiris Torrance. So that was something that caught my eye. This is huge, right? Like you said, saved the class, saved some added not only depth. He kind of get some guys that you can continue to develop. So being able to develop guys and have him come in and be a starter. This is not like you gave the numbers. This is not like some guy off the street that we hope can contribute. I mean, he put up solid film and like one of the top guards in the country, like bar none. So in pass block rate and run block rate, which is huge. So this is like a huge addition. I'm gonna save some meat on the bone for her, so see what he wants to say about him.
Arguably the best offensive lineman on the team instantly. I mean, it's not even a question. Barber would be second, I would imagine, at this point. Some people would argue Kingsley. I would argue that you're insane. Some people
don't get me started.
Some people like the guy. I don't know what to tell you. People have bad takes. People have bad takes. We see it every day. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously Barber's a mule, but still young, inexperienced. This young man, Micah, is not. He's going to be a road. The boys are going to love to run behind him next year. There's no doubt about it. I think we'll be running left quite a bit. Yeah. Pause it up. So a lot more running. I say that. I thought we'd run right a lot more last year, and we didn't do that. So we'll probably run right this season. Great take. Love it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're saying?
Oh, well, and I just wanted to add one more portion of this. I know a lot of people right now are down on Florida's NIL. This young man made it a point to say that NIL was very important to him, and that's one of the reasons he came to Florida. So win some, you lose some. What's that?
He wasn't cheap.
That's kind of a thing with our Florida. And I know Jen came out and said it the other day, like they get blamed when we don't get guys, but when we do get guys, nothing gets brought up and said about it.
That's always the way it is in all realities. I mean,
but I think how we brought it goes to it was the hits and misses with Miami. When we made a chart, did the side by side, it wasn't bad. Period.
It's also 5-star prospects. If you get 1-2 5-star prospects and nobody makes a comment about any of it, and people aren't going to get as excited about transfers, especially offensive linemen. We know that these guys never get the. Oh yeah, but offensive linemen are never going to get the excitement and the credit that they deserve because you don't see the plays they make most of the time with your eyes.
Yeah.
You see the running back run through the line, but you don't see that crushing block 99% of the time.
You see when they don't make the play, like King.
Exactly. When the quarterback gets smashed, and then or your center your center has a false start.
Kingsley makes his own formations, like his muddled pistol. But no, to piggyback off what Wes was saying with that pass blocking stat. Once again, according to PFF, he ranked as the second best guard in college football as a pass protector, allowing just 1 sack, 2 hits, 8 hurries, and 11 pressures on the year. He sits behind only Torrance. So I think this was a nice addition to our offensive line. So, all right. Now moving forward really quick, guys, just to, possibly at least, I'm still hoping for an offensive tackle, but, left to right, I have Austin Barber at left tackle for next year. Micah Parsons. I'm sorry, Micah Parsons. I'm going crazy. I got Micah, Kingsley, Richie Leonard, and Cameron Waits currently at right tackle. What do you guys think?
Well, I think if Micah Parsons is on this team, I'm a lot more excited next season.
Man, come on.
What? Mike,
If
breaking
Micah
news.
Parsons is on this team,
Breaking
Bateman really
news.
does got us.
Yeah, breaking news. Breaking news.
But no,
He's
man,
coached
all
by
jokes
Pe-
aside, we
he's
got to give.
coached by Mike
Hey,
Peterson. A nice try, though, guys.
when Mike makes a mistake, hey, if we make a mistake, Mike jumps us. So we got to take our shots when we get them. No, that right side is really sketchy. Actually, starting from the center, that whole right side is really sketchy.
No, I like Richie a lot. He's from Brevard County. So
I like Richie, but we're going on experience, and
He did get some snaps last year,
he
and
got
it wasn't.
snaps. I know he did. He got some snaps at
He's the
left,
reason.
if I remember
You
correctly.
could easily argue he's the reason Braun's gone.
Braun? Oh yeah, absolutely.
So let's
He was-
remember
he was-
that.
He had some good
I
moments
gotta
and some
see it.
bad
I'm not gonna get overhyped on him. I got overhyped on Kingsley last year. I'm not getting overhyped on an offense.
Is Kingsley from Brevard County?
Look, I'm from Georgia, man. That doesn't do a whole lot for me. You just got to
You
understand.
talked to Reggie Nelson. So we'll all leave it at that. So, but no. All jokes aside, though, guys.
What does Wes think
compared to
about the
Wes-
offensive line?
Pardon?
What does Wes think about this offensive line?
See, hosting is not as easy as you think, Mike.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, like Hurst said, it's from center on over to the right. There's a lot of question marks. I did see Richard Leonard last year. He had some good moments and some bad moments. The thing I love that is he got playing time last year. So to see him actually get some playing time last year would be huge in his development. Kingsley, I'm hoping he was injured for the last 2 years. I'm gonna just say he was injured. Maybe he had a bad knee, a bad hip, and maybe he can.
Was his brain injured? And I don't mean to make a lot of brain injuries, ladies and gentlemen.
I will say, let's just say Kingsley was hurt last year. We didn't get into this. We don't know, y'all. I'm just saying. I believe he was hurt last year, so I'm gonna blame that on that. His rocking, getting other guys to go off sides, just crazy to me. But Waits, he is the big unknown. If he can hold on that right side at right tackle, I think Richie Leonard can be solid with him. Like I said, he got developed last year. He got some playing time, which is huge. And anytime you get a young guy the ability to play, and I saw some positive things from when he was in. I saw some not so positive things, but he's a young guy, and it just experience will help him. So, but the left side, like Mike and you said, Hurst, is solid.
One thing I want to add real quick: don't hold Waits' bowl performance against your evaluations on him. That kid was not probably meant to play. He's not meant to play guard.
Not too many 6'8" guys playing guard.
Yeah, that take that with a gigantic grain of salt, if you will, because he was desperately out of position.
Yeah.
Only thing that scares me, if like Barber gets hurt, we're screwed. We have no depth. Like, all right, say Kingsley gets hurt, TJ Slaughter. Hopefully, I pray to God never sees a field at the University of Florida. So let's just say you move Richard Leonard over to center, or maybe Harris is ready to go. But like, it's just the depth on this, the lack of depth on this line is petrifying. But that's one to leave it at that. So
it's not good.
No, yeah, not great, Bob. Yeah, so moving on. Hey, we got another commit, right, Hirsch?
Absolutely.
Deuce
is loose.
6'2", 200 pounds, linebacker out of Madison, out of Alabama. Got him from Michigan. 900 back as a recruit. He was a 995th player last year. He will be a redshirt freshman. Hey, and we lost about 30 kids. Okay, I don't want all starters because one, that's not realistic. Two, you need depth. You need potential. You're losing the McMillans of the world. I mean, you need players that know their role and are willing to accept it. So with that being said, he's going to be a great young depth piece, and hopefully we can mold him. Wes?
Bateman got us. So Bateman wants to take this kid, and I'm just playing.
Bateman can coach now.
Yeah, I mean, to see what
coach,
I was about to bring that up, when we saw how Bernie bounced back when everybody was basically through Bernie.
What Bernie did about us?
He did a great year. So just hopefully this kid can be one of those guys that you want to develop. Even if he's a fifth-year guy that peaks at his fifth year, that wouldn't be a problem, because you want guys, leaders, guys that can learn the system and can teach other guys. He may be a guy that's not very athletic and may not be able, but he may be able to teach the position to other guys. So you want to always have those type of guys in the room, even though he's young right now. But a guy that wants to get a degree from the University of Florida, that's going to be there all 4 or 5 years. So that's how I'm looking at this type of kid. And hopefully he shocks us and maybe he contributes. But I would look at him maybe being, especially with my 24 class coming up, where we can maybe get some guys at backer. Maybe he's like a fifth-year guy that contributes on the field. So that's how I'm looking at this type of kid.
Yeah, I know that our weight listed on what we had right there was at 200, and that was his 247 estimate. The Michigan roster list him now is at 231. So probably somewhere in the middle. Probably somewhere in the middle, 220, 225, who knows?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
So growing.
I'm sorry.
Kid's growing. He was also, I know he named, and I know it's probably a whole lot to a lot of people, but it speaks to me. 2-time Scout Player of the Week for Michigan in practice. So that means he gets out there and does what he's supposed to do on the scout team. Probably coachable, and that's, like we said, it's a good depth piece. Get him in here. We complained about our linebacker depth for a while. Like Mike said, we lost a lot of kids. Bring him in, man. See if he surprises. Kid might play his ass off.
And just to piggyback lastly on that, Hirsch, you brought up a great point with scout team. When you're running cards, I mean, as a young lad, no, but when I was a freshman, I knew I was going to play. I was going in, hey, no, I need to develop. I had that mindset. That shows he knows he's going to play within himself, and he's going to be a good teammate. A lot of players, they're going to shut it down. Wingo coming in his freshman year, awful teammate. People always want to know what's going on. He's an awful teammate, didn't give a crap. You get kids like this, they know going into practice, no, I'm not going to play in that game. I'm just running cards of the opposing team. I mean, being a practice dummy, for example, that takes a certain mindset. It takes a certain sacrifice. It means you are not greater than the team. So that's the type of kids you want in your program. So
got to impress those coaches and show them you're willing to work, man.
Absolutely. All right. So now we actually had one of our kids on the portal actually found a home. It's going to be Wes's, pen pal, Trevez Johnson, actually found a home in the SEC at Missouri. He actually becomes the second UF player to actually transfer to a SEC school. So at least some of our players are at least halfway decent. And, with that second player being the defensive tackle, Jaden Lee, who went over to his home state of LSU. Now, I don't think I can even lead this anymore. I think Wes is the only one suited to actually speak on this in depth. Wes, take that over, please.
I mean, I have
Appreciate
comment,
that.
But sure, let's have at it.
I've been calling for him to be replaced the entire year, ever since last year when I saw him. Very unathletic guy. I know some people were talking about, well, why Perkins? To me, he was the guy that knew the system better than Perkins, and that's why he got on the field. But he has his athletic abilities to be able to play in the SEC is horrible. I can see Ricky hopefully having a monster game in the slot against Trevez Johnson. I'm looking forward to that matchup. I'm looking forward to Ricky, having 4 touchdowns, 200 and something yards if he's matched up against his hips are bad. He can't flip his hips. He's not. I'm glad he's gone. To me, like I said, Perkins was the better athlete, but I think Trevez, for those who question it, I think Trevez knew the system better, could learn the defense better from both staffs, and that's why he was out on the field. So when you guys would question that, to Mike's point, sometimes guys don't know the system, and to me that was Perkins' problem. So hopefully, being year 2 for Perkins, the job is basically there for him to have right now. I think he has to compete against some freshmen, or maybe Devin Moore moves over to that position, which that's my hope that Devin Moore goes over to the nickel position. But yeah, Travez, I'm not shedding any tears over here at all.
I mean, I know who we should target when we play Missouri next year. That's my take.
I mean, you say he's not SEC caliber, but this is now the second team who picked him up. I mean, I'm not saying he's best, but
I go back to what Mike has said many times. There's an argument to be made for both sides. He was a starter in the SEC. You've lost experience, whether he's good experience or not in your eyes. Yeah,
he has seen the field.
So
a lot. He played the last 2 years as a.
No, what I'm saying is.
So now, granted, you are as Wes says, you are probably replacing him at first with Perkins, who also has starting experience. So at least there, the drop isn't as bad. Correct. Now, then you turn to who's backing him up. Is it Devin Moore? Is it one of the freshmen? Is it Dejon Johnson? One of the many things to watch in camp.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, personally, I would hope he would have stayed throughout spring and we find out what we have from the freshmen. So not forcing the action, but once again, if you actually have seen the field as opposed to, okay, you're a redshirt freshman, you're a redshirt junior, but if you've actually seen the lights, seen the speed of the game, that you can't replicate that in practice. Period.
It might have been a mutual parting of ways. He may not have had
for sure. No,
much choice in it. So who knows? We don't know these things.
That spring depth chart.
Yep.
I can't wait to see that spring depth chart.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
All right. So in addition to Mazuka, us getting the Mazuka here from this past weekend, we also had a couple other visitors in town. It's going to be former Miami offensive tackle John Campbell. He came in. Obviously the staff was, looking at him. They were interested. We have a open position here at right tackle. He ends up committing to Tennessee over us. He even actually was I don't know if he's technically on campus, but the timing of a tweet of
he was.
Yeah, so he was on campus, and when he tweeted,
he was in his hotel room.
Yeah, not ideal. So, anyways, so we just lost out on a potential starter for next season. He's not the best, but he's not the worst. So let's just real quick, guys. I mean, what do you think? First and foremost, what do you think about missing out on him? I'll start with you, Hirsch.
I mean, as you said, yes, experienced tackle, could have used him. My understanding was, though, that the kid wanted certain promises made, and Billy wasn't making those promises as far as playing time. And Tennessee was willing to make those promises. So, and whatever financial promises he wanted as well. So, is it a loss? Yeah, you lost. You tried. You wanted. Obviously, you brought him on campus. You wanted him. So that we never mince our words on that. A whiff is a whiff. Is it a bad whiff? Yes and no. Obviously, we need the depth piece. I would have preferred another kid, but here we are. We put ourselves in this situation, so it is what it is.
Wes?
Yeah, I mean, I would have wanted him for depth. I think the kid knew he could be developed here, but we know how that goes. Even though I get on the offensive line a lot, the offensive line coaches a lot, I think they're very talented and know what they're doing by the obvious of seeing Torrance going. She's going to be a first-round pick. So sometimes it just comes down to what a kid wants and what we will and won't say to him. And if you feel like Tennessee is going to give him the opportunity, the best to him, but he would have been a good deputy, like Mike was just saying about Travis Johnson and playing in SEC games. The kid did play at Miami, so he has seen in the ACC. We pick on the ACC, but he's seen some D linemen like at Clemson that they have NFL D linemen. So he's seen and experienced with things. He wasn't very good in my opinion, but maybe our coaches could have fixed that problem. Maybe he moves to guard. Who knows? So would have loved to have him for depth.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
shit
now
show, man.
we're shuffling.
This is a shit show.
What's that?
This is a freaking shit show, man. This is absolute shit show. I guess we don't want offensive tackle. So let's just. I'm sorry. This is rant time. All right.
Yeah, Mike has been sitting on this.
No. Listen, Wes, you thought I was like you with Coach Chaos. I know Coach Chaos has you on payroll, but these O-line coaches don't got your boy on payroll. I was gonna be patient, so I'm giving time. All right, I'll evaluate after the season. Well, it's after the motherfucking season. So this is where we're at. Garage didn't have the best season. I'll admit it, but he was more than serviceable. He would have been a 6-year guy. All right, I don't know for a fact, but I would bet money if they made him a decent offer, he's come back. Okay, but he's entering a draft. I wish him the best of luck. He was a great player. All right, he was a great Gator. Now, so he's gone. We didn't get Simmons, obviously. So we went all in on Acuna. Didn't get him. Would have been day one starter. Poof. Okay. At that point, you're not getting any day one starters out of this cycle. All right. Strike that out. Transfers. And then Tarquin leaves. Okay. There's plenty of guys left. There's a good amount of guys. 3, 4, 5, 6 guys to go. Auburn got 2 of them. Tennessee just got 1. Stanford guy wouldn't come. So why aren't you making these calls beforehand? Why don't you have all these wheels and all this stuff in place before Garage, before Acuna? I could have told you I'm just gonna outbid you. I ain't dumb. So why don't you have these ducks in a row? This is on Billy. Be prepared is the bottom line. So now I don't know who the hell our offensive tackle is going to be. Everyone's gone. Literally everybody's gone. Now at this point, we have no offensive line depth. If Barber goes down, it's gonna be a freaking shit show. So Caden Jones is gonna be most likely to be put into play next year. I pray to God he's not, but he needs to be in the crock pot. That could stunt his development. I hope we can possibly get something out of him, but he's not an early enrollee. In addition to that, I think the only option at this point, or one of the better ones, I think he's still in the market, is I can't pronounce this guy's name, Keontae Goodwin. He's a former big-time prospect, transferred from Kentucky. But once again, that's a red flag. Because if you can't get developed at Kentucky under Bob Stoops' offensive tackle, what are you doing? So you tell me what our offensive line staff is doing with two actual coaches and other staff members with about staff of 5. Okay, I was all for the hire. They can develop. What on earth are you developing? Grass? That's the only thing at right tackle right now, because Waits has only played football for like 2 years. He does not. He needs time. He's not ready. He can be really good with time. He needs to be in the crock pot. So this is the mismanagement of this from Garage to now is baffling and downright embarrassing and head thing to be called. I'm not saying you're going to fire him, but I thought this was a talent acquisition business, William. Okay? So get your shit right, because I'm tired of not seeing talent, because I don't got a quarterback in 2 freaking cycles. Mac Brown ain't no damn quarterback to me. I don't got an offensive tackle with skinny ankles who's ready to play. So what's going on, bro? Hate to break it to you. I'm done. So I'm signed out on that. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
Yo, that's the clip you put on Twitter tomorrow.
Oh, that's the rant of the people.
Yeah,
The rant of the people.
Now, moving forward.
You got your breath? You good?
Need some water?
I needed that.
Man.
You know what really grinds my gears? All right, anyways. So, in addition to that, we didn't get a safety. Former Baylor safety. I would have loved to have this duo. Al Wilcott didn't even make the visit.
You know why?
Talk to me, Goose.
Because Arkansas did what we don't do.
You ain't leaving.
He ain't leaving.
He ain't leaving.
Got him on campus. Got him on campus, and Wes's boy out there got him signed up. You know, got him doing the pig suit.
Pittman knows what to do.
So I'll leave it at that. I would say overall it was a successful weekend. You got some nice depth. Looks like a good character guy. And
we also had
linebacker room
South Carolina,
starting guard, all potential all SEC guard. So you can't say that's a bad weekend. Okay. With that being said, we something needs to happen at tackle. And even if you get a potential starting tackle, you need depth, man, across the whole offensive line. TJ Slaughter's an awful football player. Awful. He's a scout team quality. He's a preferred freaking walk-on, man. So this is a fact. And I'm not trying to be mean, but it is what it is. Okay? This is Florida. No, it's not Florida. Because look at our offensive line. People need to get off. I was telling Wes, people need to get off this little hype train. Oh, we're the University of Florida. We've been a shit show for a decade. What the hell have we been? Oh, we're sponsored by Jordan. Whoop-de-doo. Good, nice polos. All right. Now, guys, do we have any other needs?
Safety, tackle. I mean, we've already covered that. I'm sure we have some other ones that aren't as pressing. I mean, we got our nose tackle. Thank heaven, or that would have been a double rant.
Chaos.
I mean, hey, we probably need a damn quarterback now. I mean, we still
need a running back
and a wide receiver, preferably.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, tackle, quarterback. We're good at linebacker. Potentially need a safety depending on how they feel about Miguel Mitchell and Kamari back there. And once again, the depth behind them. The SEC is the closest thing to the NFL. You need depth. Players get hurt. And if you want to rely on freshmen, play the young guys. Same people who say this are going to get pissed off when you have the Vegas Bowl performance. It doesn't want you to pick one. So our reset year should have been last year, but it wasn't. Now it's looking like it's going to be this year. But people are going to be pissed. So people need to make up their minds because right now the staff is straddling. So which way are we going? We have no backup edge. That's another thing. We have no backup edge. Jack Pyburn, I'm sorry, you ain't it, brother. So, so we'll leave it at that. I mean, you guys have anything else to say on that?
Nah, you did.
I mean, here's the problem. 8/24 on Wednesday the 11th. Add and drop is Friday. I really have to wait till the sun. So
I was going to bring that up earlier. I lost my train of thought. You do have another portal after the summer.
That's when we got Ricky.
But man,
it's tough.
You want these guys here spring? Like it's just.
This is the second because Williams said this last cycle. Oh, we're gonna go hard in the portal after we miss on him after we miss on Perkins. We're gonna go hard in the portal.
I think he thought he was. I think the reason why he didn't maybe because a lot of guys that we thought may leave and transfer last year, which is probably what he should have done. He should have probably got more.
That's last season. Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. You were saying that he said that he was going to attack it last summer and he didn't, and I think that's because a lot of guys didn't leave, so the scholarship wasn't there to do that. I think he should have let a lot of guys just go ahead and leave last year, and that way you get what you wanted from the portal last year. This year he has another choice. When summertime comes, you got to get what you got to get. And to as far as offensive lineman is to come in, that's more easier to come in and play. As far as from what I mean is if you got a veteran offensive lineman, it's easier for them coming in May than maybe a skill position guy. They have to take time to get the nuances of the playbook and all that stuff. Offensive lineman, it may be a little bit easier.
But at the same time, though, you realize what makes a good offensive line good is communication.
I'm talking about for depth purposes. So if they're not coming in to start and they're just coming in, we getting guys in to be depth pieces. They're going to be practicing anyway. They're not going to be.
We need a starting right offensive tackle or left. We need a starting offensive tackle. And what makes an offensive a good offensive line tick is communication. When you're passing off and blitzing guy off to the A gap, you need to know who's going to pick that up. You need to know when you can pass something off. You need to have communication without saying something. And that only happens with repetitions. You're not going to have these reps if they're not there in spring.
But my point is, if you're saying starting, I'm talking about that guy is not going to start.
No, I understand what you're saying about depth. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm talking at the same time. We have potential starters that need to be there.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a starter. Waste is a starter. So I'm talking about depth guys that not going to be with the first team anyway.
So how would you feel though if once again that's year 2, we're not ready for the portal? I'll leave that question with you to end it. Is that acceptable to you?
I'll answer.
No.
Okay. I need somebody to answer it.
We have significantly fumbled the portal. Sorry, not pulling punches. Because we did the whole we'll get them next year, and this is next year.
Yep.
So.
All right. Thanks, Herb.
All
right. Well, hey, folks, it's that time. A lot of people.
What's good? Man. Yeah. Guys, appreciate you guys' questions this week. You always give us some good questions. Again, some of you guys' questions we already kind of hit. I'm going to ask Mike and Hirsch each a question. If the other one wants to jump in and add something, we'll do it that way. But I'm going to let them answer your question themselves, and then if the other guy wants to add some stuff on, they can do that. First question to you, Mike, is going to Antonio Armstrong. He wants to know what this situation and all this media drama with Rashada, any moves left in the portal?
Any moves in terms of what position or overall?
He just overall.
Oh, my bad.
Are we going to make any moves in the portal?
Yeah, his question
cover that.
Yeah.
Pardon?
His question is, what's the situation and all this media drama with Rashada, and are there any moves left that we will make in the portal?
Okay, so we already covered the Rashada situation. It's shit show, and he's going to be gone. Now, are we going to make other moves in the portal? I mean, absolutely. You're down scholarships. You need bodies. You literally don't have an offensive tackle right. Like now, you just need depth. That's why we picked up, Deuce. So you still need bodies. They brought in, the safety. So they wouldn't have brought in a safety if they did not particularly want a safety. Same thing with offensive tackle. So they're going to, I don't know what type of offensive tackle. They may pivot and we're just going to go with weights and get a depth guy. All right. But they're looking to get, I've seen receivers. They may have a guy that needs to wait on a graduation. I don't know, but you can at least see they're looking at least 2 to 4 guys minimum.
Gotcha. All right, Hirsch, this one is from you. This is from Chris Sorley. He said, if you were Nate, what would be your off-season priority list? And he says, I'll let you answer the part first, then I'll ask you the second part of his question.
Off-season priority list as in going forward?
Yeah, it's like a broad question.
Right. My priority list would have been to hit your needs in the portal that you didn't get through recruiting.
No, he means
starters.
He means like this offseason, like now that the season's over, what is your offseason priority list?
Well, obviously, you want to start really working the 24 recruits very hard. But with your add and drop being Friday, like we just covered, if you don't have your needs by then, you've got to start evaluating of players that might be available in the summer portal, because you're going to have positions. It's almost inevitable now because we're at the point of no return. You're going to have positions that you don't have reliable experienced backups at, like Mike said. So you better start whatever evaluating you weren't doing before now and figure out, okay, these are potential guys that might be in the portal. And I don't care about the tampering part. We all know what's happening. We got kids on our team trying to get poached every week. One happened this week. So reach out and find out, hey, you want to come play for us? I don't give a damn. You better start getting your hands dirty.
All right. The second part of this question is a kind of collective question. You can answer what you can. I won't say names in this, but he said, also, it looks like the Gator Collective is getting rid of whoever is the head of that right now. He says, could the Gator Collective become an actual force with the correct personnel leading it? And he said he also heard Ben Chase is joining the collective.
I'll just leave this. Let me take this, Hirsch. I just think the Gator Collective and what comes with it has a lot of potential, and it's done a lot of good for us. I'll leave it at that.
First and foremost, Ben Chase actually is joining the University of Florida, not the collective. He took a position for NIL with the University of Florida. I forget exactly what that, he posted it on Twitter, what that position will be, but it is actually with the school, not with the outside group. And as far as the collective goes, there's a lot of things about to probably go into motion, especially with what's just happened this week. All I can say is just wait and see. There should be some announcements soon.
All right, Mike, you'll love this one. This is from Kyle
Hey,
McCullen.
and real quick, Wes, he's the director of NIL strategy. That's his title.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Mike, this one's for you, Kyle McCullen. He says, why did Dan Mullen get fired? Because he couldn't recruit, and then we bring in a guy that can, and it's the same issue in recruiting.
That's not true. I've already covered this one. Okay. All right. First of all, Dan Mullen got fired because he lost the locker room during a BLM march. Period. That's when he lost the team. He stopped, like literally, he stopped caring. Everyone, like, it's kind of common knowledge. There was a march during Black Lives Matter. There was a march. Team left. He was that was, and he made him practice after. He was done after that mentally. When people, he checked out. That is why. So, Hirsch, correct me if I'm wrong. So, anyways, so in addition to that, I've already covered it. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. There's not one class on the class average that Mullen, what's it called, did better than Billy. And his best class would have been his class that he inherited some kids from Mac, I want to say. So he can't recruit. Never recruited better. He never got his QB1s. I mean, say what you want about Rashada. That's on money right now. So he got Rashada. He just got DJ Lagway. So he's got his QB1s. Mullen never got his QB1s. So, this is not a second. I've seen this multiple times. He cannot recruit the same, period. And in addition to that, I'll leave it at this. This is the best class since Urban. So, I mean, I really don't understand where this recruiting and where you see what's coming up in 2024. So I really don't understand where people are getting this, where the actual numbers are saying that is just incorrect.
All right. This is from my boy Justin Wood, who always asks questions every week. He said, this is for you, Hirsch. If we don't end up getting Rashada with him to back out of his LOI, do you think we get another Porter quarterback? We kind of answered that with Walker Howard. He said, wouldn't mind, and this is the part of the question I want you to answer. He said, would not mind getting the quarterback who loses Georgia's starting job. And that's with those three, with Beck, Garnet Stockton, and I forgot the other kid's name.
I don't think you're going to see any of those kids hit the portal till after spring.
And that's what he's saying. He's saying, whoever, would you mind going after the one that loses the job?
You got to have a plan before then.
Okay.
Now, I guess I shouldn't say that. If you do lose Rashada and Walker Howard is not going to be Gators, say he's going to join another team. At that point, you have to wait and see. Yeah. Like we said already, and drops Friday. You're not going to be able to add any quarterback right now. So you're pretty much stuck waiting till after spring, the summer, to see who enters then. But at that point, we've given Hurts all the reps in spring. Him and Jack Miller. Please, God help us.
Max Brown.
Who's not a quarterback, as Mike told us earlier. He doesn't care what you think. He's not. So, really, if this Rashada deal goes south like it looks like it may, you're going to be in a really. This is Graham Mertz's team.
We're going to pickle?
Yeah, we're in a pickle, Bob.
You'll be in a
This
Pistons.
is Graham Mertz's team, better or worse.
All right, Mike, this is for you. This is from Jared White. He said, I wanted to ask this before Rashada stuff came up. I wondered if behind the scenes the staff told Marcus Stokes to own up to this and lay low into February, and maybe you can get back in. And does the Rashad situation affect Marcus Stokes in any way?
No and no.
All right.
Marcus Stokes isn't good. I mean, I would have taken him. It seemed like this program guy. Players didn't like him. Once that all that smoke came out, which everyone knew about, it wasn't like, oh, all of a sudden, no, that people been sitting on that. So once that smoke came out, there's no one, putting it back in. So he, that ship's been sailed.
Yeah.
I think Stokes is gonna have to go JUCO, man. It's kind of, I feel bad for the kid.
All right, Hirsch. I won't ask you this question. I'll just say the kid's name. I mean, our fan's name. He said, "This is Kristen Bowles. Kristen Bowles. Excuse me. We already kind of answered this, Christian. You said I saw with Walker Howard is the end of the portal. Is there any chance he could replace Rashad if he leaves? We kind of already talked about that question, so we won't go over that again. But yeah, that's somebody that hopefully that we were in touch with last year. And hopefully we can get back in if everything that we kind of suspect.
I hope he's on the phone with him right now.
Exactly. Since he's in the portal, he's able to be talked to. So yeah, I will be doing that right now. As we already said, Friday is the.
I hope he's on a plane on his way to Gainesville. For being real honest.
Yeah. Chris Sholey, I did another. This is from Chris Sholey again. Who am I with now? Is it Mike or Hirsch? Hirsch? Yeah,
Mike.
Hirsch. He says, why does On3 sabotage the Gators? They started the rumor about Rashad and screwed us multiple times during recruiting season.
They're an unserious company. Next.
Josh Newberg is FSU.
Chad Simmons
is UGA. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, say that again, Mike, because I was talking while you were saying it. Say those two names who kind of like the faces of it.
So pretty much two international prominent media
sports writer.
Quote media end quote members are Chad Simmons, a known turd from UGA. All right, and then you have a lawn gnome known as Josh Newberg, who's FSU. So, is it a coincidence that their favorite schools are our rivals, and we get bad mouth quite a bit off of there? No.
Yeah. All right.
Let's just say that any company that employs Newberg is not serious.
Not a serious company.
Nick Elkins, appreciate your question. We kind of answered that. You said we're returning for quarterback reports from On3 about Rashada, his NIL. We kind of answered that. And you said, do we go after the LSU quarterback? Talked about that as well. He said, do you now answer this? He said, do we trust Mertz to hold down the fort until JJ gets there? Nick, we don't have a choice. I mean, he's got to hold down the fort until JJ gets here, unless like we said, if Walker comes in here, my mindset is saying that the redshirt freshman can come in and compete for the starting job, at least push Mertz for that starting job. So that's how I envision that if we get Walker Howard, that's my dream scenario. Even if Rashada stays in the class, I would still I like stacking talent. So I would still even go after Walker Howard. So that's how I view it. Charlie Sapp answered your question. What's the latest on Rashada and who's left in the portal? Justin came back on and asked another question. Do you see him doing us like Rashada did? He's talking about Lagway. I think you talked about that. Hirsch, do you want to talk about the Lagway? He said, do you think something, because we kind of got PTSD of what's going on with what I was saying earlier, what can go wrong, does go wrong. Do you see any way that Lagway does not end up in his class, Hirsch?
From everything that I've been told today, the last week, this situation doesn't affect DJ Lagway in the least. Everything with his family was very cut and dry, known. His family they're an old school breed. I really believe that unless something absolutely drastically unforeseen happens, there's no chance that DJ Lagway is not in this class next year. Not saying it can't happen, because God knows we're learning on the fly. It always can. But I don't foresee him not being in this class.
Hey, and real quick, Hirsch, did you sorry, I just want to real quick, Hirsch, do you have any additional questions?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions for from the old Twitter that I was going to ask before we rolled out of here. Jed Keel asked, first part of his question was the projected O-line. Jed, I hope we answered your question there with our breakdown of the offensive line earlier. Another question you ask, and maybe this needs to be asked, any chance Kearney plays year one?
That it looks like he has the potential on the run blocking side. Okay, so my dream scenario is he gets adequate, serviceable on the pass blocking side. We move Richie Leonard inside, dominant center. But the problem is, once again, you just don't have a right tackle. But he can, I think physically he can do it. I just don't think it'll occur because I don't foresee him having enough pass blocking skill set, and I don't think they're going to move Kingsley. I really don't think they will.
Yeah, I think getting the transfer really probably pretty much sealed it where he probably won't have to play. But as we said, injuries happen. You know, hopefully we don't have to worry about that. All right, guys, I got one more here. I got two more, actually. Actually, I'm going to ask Wes this one first. This is from his man, Lucas the Gator Man, wants to know, Wes, what do you expect Ricky Pearsall to do?
There's a lot of rumors out there. I'm right now, the longer it goes, the better I feel about the situation. He put some out there the other day and about being invited to the NFL Combine. So right now, I would say I'm 65-35 that he stays.
Yeah, it's like you said, the longer it goes, the better. I think we're working on doing what we need to do to get him to come back.
Yeah,
I don't think.
All right, guys.
Real quick, I think you should go. What are you going to
I
increase?
actually believe
what are you
that
going to
he
increase your
probably
draft
should
stock
go.
by a round? Leave. If I'm him, I'm gone.
I don't think anything that he does with this team next year is going to help his draft stock, honestly. I mean, Graham Mertz could end up being the slant god, you know. He could be the new Drew Brees.
What's his ceiling? He's not going to go in the first round.
I know, you're right. That's what I'm saying. If he's third or fourth projection this year, that's probably what he's going to be next year. He's not growing 3-4 inches.
Your goal is to get to that second contract.
Yep.
Maybe it's the money.
As possible. That's your goal.
Well, maybe whatever he gets, maybe if they're going to give him a good eye. Same thing you were saying about Richard Garage.
But you're still not getting to that second contract. Like, I know what you're saying.
I understand the argument both ways, but I understand also that if he gets hurt coming back, he might not get an NFL contract.
If he gets hurt, he goes 6th round, 5th max.
It's a very risky situation for someone that's really not going to improve their draft stock by coming back.
But he is an NFL player, though. He is an NFL guy.
I think he absolutely is. He's a great route runner, which, you know, and he's got good hands. He had like one drop all season. So, I mean, you know, NFL teams love that. I'm sure the Patriots are salivating at the chance to add Ricky Pearsall to their team. All right, guys, one more question. And this one is one that kind of gets kicked around a lot, and I want us all to kind of talk about this, and that'll be it for the show. Our man JC on Twitter asked, what role does Foley play in the football program? And what or who is tying the football program hands from going to the next level in NIL arms race? Do you see anything changing, or is this what we got? Mike, I know you got an opinion, so jump right on it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not a serious football program. Like, I'm like people. I know Wes and I had a brief conversation before, but like everyone says, like, oh, we're the University of Florida, so we should. Oh, but we're the University of Florida. Who the hell cares? Like seriously, the kids obviously don't. Like this is not. It's like Nebraska. Oh, we're in Nebraska. Look at Nebraska. They were cool. Like yes, we have our potential is astronomical, but end of the day, the powers that be, they do not care if we are an elite football program at this point. Now, can that be changed? Absolutely. Okay. Look at Miami. It can be changed that quickly. All right. However, right now, they're okay. They're okay with us being a tier 2, mid tier 2 football program. And once you come to terms with that, you're gonna sleep better at night. Now, our only hope is 2 things, in my opinion. It's gonna be the new president, or 3 things. The new president actually give a shit about football. 2, you lose Scott Strickland, or 3, and I definitely don't think this is gonna happen because it's against his personality. Say what you want about Coach Mack. He had a pair and he got that IPF built. He complained publicly, which if you complain publicly, put some people on blast and say, and pretty much go head to head with them, make it happen. And Billy's like, I'm trying to recruit. You talk to people that need money. It's a power move. He goes all in with it. So that's it.
Wes, you got any opinions on this that you want to add to what Mike said?
Yeah, I mean, I can just echo everything you said. I mean, right now they have yeah, I'm here. The powers to be don't really care. They care more about. There's nothing wrong with caring about education, but there's nothing that's saying that you can't do two. You can't do both, and that's where we're at right now. Until they put forth, or let the fans go out and get picket fence and start picking lines and go out and chant. We want these people going. Moves have to be made, and people need to be put on blast because this is getting outrageous. And I know Mike said a lot of this is Billy, but if you look at what we said about how Miami has turned it around, a lot of this is because these boosters have gotten in, have helped Miami. And right now, I think it's some hesitation on our side from the boosters because, to me, Scott Strickland has failed the program. I think me and Hirsch talked about this the other day. The only way I see Scott Strickland out of here, unless he has some kind of another scandal, is if his basketball and football coach fail. If the new basketball coach fail, which he is right now, well, it's his first year, but if he fails and falls flat on his face, and then
Mike's having a technical difficulty. I'm sorry. Yes, there he is. There he is.
If both of them fall flat on their face, then that'll be the way again that he gets in it. That's just my opinion. That he gets axed. That'll be another coach from both sports that fail, to the most prominent sports that fail.
Yeah, I know we kind of keep hitting on this point, but I got a feeling until Scott Strickland is no longer the AD here, we're just kind of wasting our breath. I believe that's public enemy number 1. Mike has declared him. Sign our Scott is on the t-shirts. They're ready to be printed. There needs to be some changes, man. I know Billy agreed to a lot of stuff, but I don't know if Billy quite understood what the true level of things were around this university when he agreed to a lot of these terms. But here we are. And you gotta do with what you got. I don't think Billy's gonna be that guy that mails it in. He's not gonna reach that Dan Mullen status where he just goes, "Oh, to hell with this, man. I'm gonna take my contract and ride out of town." But he needs to show some frustration, like Mike said. I'd love to see him get pissed off. Maybe slam a podium real hard and say some cross words.
End of the day, it's a lot cheaper to get rid of Scott Strickland than it is Billy Napier.
Especially when you've already gotten rid of multiple head coaches.
I'll leave it at that.
All right, guys. We appreciate all your questions out there. Thank you so much. Like we said before, we're going to get to a point here where we do this as a separate show. We might try to start doing that next week if we got enough questions that we can make a 20, 25-minute episode. We'll see what we can do with it, guys. We really love the interactions, and we're going to keep that rolling. So, guys, we're about to jump on out of here, but before we do, we want to go ahead and give a big shout-out, happy birthday to our man Wes. We didn't jump on him from the beginning of the show, but it's Wes's birthday, so y'all make sure if you follow him on Twitter or whatever, you go out there, shout him out a happy birthday. Leave a comment on our YouTube, happy birthday, Wes. We'll give it a big old like. We appreciate y'all. So, as always, guys, make sure you go out there and download the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel. Like I just said, please go ahead and subscribe if you don't already. It helps us a tremendous amount. Like the video, drop us a comment. Happy birthday, Wes, or tell Mike not to rant so much. Whatever it's to be. I mean, you're all entitled to your opinions.
Don't wish evil upon
that.
We love him, man. We love him for his good takes, his bad takes, and even his I forgot to one of the questions on Twitter, and I missed it, was our man going to have new shorts for being in the trenches next year?
New what? New shorts? Listen, I'll tell you what. Let me talk really quick about these shorts, okay?
No, we don't need it.
Well, no, real talk. When the fans say they don't like them, and I won't wear them. However, when the fans give me compliments, I will. I'll continue. I'll leave it at that.
People checked out Mullen's sack for years in his pants, so whatever floats your boat, guys. Hey, guys, if you want to support us as creators, like I always say, check us out on our Patreon, Respect Our Decision. Thank you so much for those that support us, and if you're on the edge about considering helping us out, like I always say, all our money goes right back into this show so we can keep getting better. Because, Mike, if you're not getting better,
you're getting worse.
That's right. Guys, anything to add before I kick it to Wes to take us home?
As always, I know I left it alone yesterday, but Bateman's always – there's two constants on earth. Bateman's got us, and Sayonara Scott.
That's it. Wes, take it home.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the Hirsch. Appreciate the birthday shout out. Again, guys, I'm getting in trouble. I'm supposed to be with the old lady, and I'm out here on my birthday. So, because we love what we do. We love talking about Gator football. So, like Hirsch said, please support, leave comments, like, subscribe. If you listen to our YouTube, please subscribe. We really appreciate it. And again, any veterans out there that are having questions, anything about disability benefits or anything like that, please hit us up. And we'll try to get those questions answered, and if you know someone that's a veteran and have any questions, please hit us up and we'll try to get those as well. We appreciate you guys, and hopefully we have some good news next week. We did get some good news like Mike stated earlier last week, but we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We love the interactions with you guys and the support. When we started this, we didn't know it was going to be like this, but it's getting bigger and bigger, and that's because of you and the love that you show. So thank you. Go Gators. I am out. Gotta go get me a drink for my birthday. Peace.
Go Gators, guys.
Go Gators.